Welcome back. Chapter 39. Mitchie made sure she arrived at Bennings and was shown to a table before Cece showed up. She felt that the table helped hide her weight gain, but Cece's sharp eyes didn't miss anything. Right after the waitress delivered their entrees, Cece cast a curious glance at Mitchie's upper arms, which had grown in size. Mitchie, have you gained weight? Mitchie silently cursed herself for not wearing long sleeves, but in northern Florida in early November, the afternoon temperatures hovered around 70. Yes, I have, she admitted. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm not eating more than I usually do, but I'm getting heavier and heavier, especially around the middle. I made an appointment to see the doctor next week. Are you sure you aren't eating more? I'm sure you were disappointed when Errol didn't give you an engagement ring. I wasn't expecting a ring from Errol, Cece. Michelin lied like a sleeping dog. But damn if she did if she tells Cece how dashed her hopes had been when she and Cece Errol when she and Errol returned from South Florida and she had no proposal and no large diamond for the fourth finger on her left hand. So I have no reason to drown my sorrows in food. But I am getting concerned about my health. Not only am I putting on weight, but my boobs have gotten tender and a little swollen. She chuckled. If I didn't know better, I'd swear I was pregnant. Cece calmly took a bite of her salad. Don't be too sure you're not. That's ridiculous, Cece. I haven't missed any periods. She still remembered the day her period came on time, 2 weeks after the condom incident with Vic. She treated herself to a sinfully rich piece of chocolate cheesecake to celebrate. If you're like Mama and me, you don't have to. I had my periods all through my pregnancy, and so did Mama. Periods through pregnancy? What kind of freaky thing is that? It's not so rare, Mitchie. Haven't you read articles about women who went to their doctors for what they thought was indigestion when they were actually in labor? The only way to go through 9 months of pregnancy and not know it is if your periods continue the whole time. And to have a damn big stomach, Mitchie muttered. Well, that too, I suppose. When I got pregnant with Josie, I figured something was going on because I was tired all the time and nauseated. The smell of coffee brewing first thing in the morning made me vomit. That sent me to the doctor. Well, I'm never nauseous. Cece looked at her with a smile, like she was enjoying the whole thing. Every woman is different, but do you find you get tired easily, that you sleep longer than you used to? Well, yes. But I'm sure I'm not pregnant, Mitchie added quickly. It wouldn't be such a bad thing, would it? You and Errol have been dating for what, 6 months now? Mitchie dropped her eyes to look at the roast beef sandwich she ordered. The hearty aroma of the sauce floated up towards her nostrils, but she just lost her appetite. Vic drummed a pencil on his desk. He couldn't imagine why Mitchie had called him this morning and requested to see him. Uh-oh. 3 or 4 months had passed since their little fling out at the beach. At the time, he made a mental note of the name of the law firm she worked for in case he wanted to contact her again. But once he came to his senses, he knew the only one he wanted was Norrell. Their marriage had survived its rocky period and was now back on track. His gut told him something was wrong, but he couldn't figure out anything else, really. Why would any woman want to contact a man she slept with months after the fact? That's a clue. She couldn't be pregnant, or else she would have told him before. Did she want to have a second go-round? Sure. That possibility appealed to his male ego, but that didn't make sense either. She'd gone through a considerate amount of trouble looking for him in the yellow pages. The only way she'd been able to do that was because he told her his profession. He began to relax. Maybe she knew someone who gotten locked up and wanted to arrange bail. It could be that simple, and probably was. He needed to stop overreacting. Vic put down the pencil and got back to work. "We have a problem," Mitchie announced the moment she crossed into his office. He quickly got up and went to the door. Bertha Franklin, his assistant, had heard Mitchie's statement, judging from her curious expression. 76 years old and sharp as a tack, the widow of a bail bondsman. She worked 20 hours a week, keeping his office running smoothly. "Excuse me, Bertha," he said as he closed the door. He turned to Mitchie and gestured for her to sit, then strolled around to sit behind the large cluttered desk. Mitchie sat in one of the two chairs facing his desk. She watched as he passed the vacant chair to move behind the desk, wondering if he felt safer with the large piece of furniture between them. "What's on your mind, Mitchie?" he asked easily. It's not what's in my mind that I'm concerned about. I'm pregnant, Vic." "We knew it." His forehead wrinkled slightly. "I don't get it. Why are you sharing this with me?" "Because you was the one when the condom broke." "What do you mean? Why is she sharing it with you?" "It's been months since you and I were together that one time." "The night the condom broke?" "Exactly, the night the condom broke, Vic." That got a reaction out of him. I bet it did. His lazy grin dissolved. "Yes, but again, that was months ago. If you'd conceived then, you would have known a few weeks later." "That's what I thought too. But apparently, there's a family trait I didn't know about. Women in my family don't miss periods, even when they're pregnant." Vic's mouth dropped open. "You mean you got pregnant that night and you're just finding out about it now? Does that make it too late to do anything about it?" "That's why I'm here." He got up and walked around to the front of the desk, sitting on his edge as he faced her. "I don't mean to sound harsh, Miss G, but somehow I don't think I'm the only man you went to bed with." And truthfully, he's not. "So why do you think I'm the one with the guilty sperm?" "Because you were the only one with a broken condom. I'm not trying to sell you a bill of goods, Vic. And in case you're thinking of having me followed, I'll tell you straight out that I'm seeing one other man. I've never slept with him." He could just imagine why. The unsuspecting slob was probably loaded. "She's holding out for the gold, the little slut." Men. "Of course, we can always have tests done. I can't say that I blame you." "Damn, Mitchie, I don't want a baby, and I'm pretty sure you don't want one either." "This is a huge inconvenience, but I don't see where there's much I can do about it this late in the game." "Do you plan to keep it?" "Of course not," she said impatiently. "Once the little devil is born, I'm through with it." Vic's senses subtly perked up as an idea began to form. "Have you made any arrangements for the baby care?" "Ooh, Vic, don't you do it. You are not taking Mitchie baby and having Norrell raise it." Let's find out if that's the case. "I haven't done anything. I just found out, and I wanted to find you. Thank goodness you told me what you did for a living, or else I would have had to hang around the landing and hope you show up, or place a personal ad in Folio, which you probably never would have seen." "Listen, Mitchie, if you plan to give up the baby, give it to me." "What?" "Let me adopt the baby." And that was his plan, y'all. She looked at him suspiciously, like she was trying to figure out his angle and what was in it for her. Mitchie was the type to always think someone had an angle. "Why would you want to adopt this baby?" she asked. Vic decided she deserved to know. My wife hasn't been able to conceive, he said. It's pretty much a hopeless case. It's been very painful for her. She's been burying herself in work and in alcohol, and it hasn't done our marriage any good. A baby would solve all our problems. And you plan on just waltzing in and announcing, "Look, honey, at what I found on the doorstep." I haven't worked out the details, but why shouldn't we have a baby that's half mine? At the dubious look she shot him, he added, "Mitchie, I'd be willing to have a contract drawn up, laying everything on the line. I'm talking about paying reasonable expenses, like your out-of-pocket medical expenses, and even your living expenses if you want to take a leave of absence from work." She shrugged. "And what do I get out of it?" "I'm not going to haggle with you, Mitchie. If you don't feel that knowing your baby is in a secure, loving home is worth anything, this won't be a good idea." He didn't like the glint in her eyes, like it had just occurred to her that she could show her soon-to-be bulging belly to desperate couples and take bids. "I won't lie to you. My wife will never be completely happy unless she has a child to call her own. You might not believe this, but I really do love my wife. It's not my nature to go out and pick women up in restaurants. I'd never done it before that night with you, nor have I done it since. I like to save my marriage, and this is just what it needs. It's rare for black women to give up their babies, even if they're mere teenagers. But I won't be taken advantage of," he added. "If you don't want to cooperate, I guess my wife will keep working like crazy until she can get every doctor in Jacksonville subscribing to her transcription service." There's the clue. She about to put two and two together. He noticed a strange look come over her and realized she probably didn't know what he was talking about. "My wife transcribes medical records," he explained. "Apparently, there has to be a written record of each patient visit and everything that happens during a hospital admission. It's a booming business behind the scenes." "Oh, I see," she sighed, an action that even under the circumstances Vic found sexy. "I need some time to think about your offer, Vic." "I bet she do, now that she knows it's Norrell." He quickly forced himself to remember that the sexy woman across from him couldn't be trusted. "Of course, I'm not rushing you, but if you're going to give up the baby anyway, wouldn't you feel better if you knew at least one of the people who would be raising him or her?" "Oh, she know both y'all." "That does offer me a degree of comfort, yes." The hell it does. Vic knew that air of reluctance Mitchie gave off came from hopes of getting him to sweeten the pot. "I like to consult an attorney and see what is standard in these cases, but there's something we need to settle right now, or else there's no point in going forward." "And what is that?" Mitchie's tone held an element of surprise. The way people look when they think they've got you by the balls. But while he might consider any reasonable counteroffer she made regarding her expenses, he wasn't budging on this point. Vic figured if it wasn't meant to be, it wouldn't be. Mitchie might think she held all the cards, but she didn't. He looked her dead in the eyes. "I want you to give up all parental rights to the baby at the time you hand him or her over." She appeared unruffled. "I'm pretty sure the law says I have 6 months. What puts you above the law?" "I may not be above the law, but that's the way I want it. I don't want my wife getting attached to an infant and considering it to be hers and then have you waltz in and say you want him back. It would kill her." Michelin took a moment to digest that. "Here's my cell number," she said, scribbling a number with no name on a sheet of notebook paper on his desk. "Do what you have to do and let me know the deal, and we'll go from there." "All right, give me a week." He helped her up, thinking how strange it was that one night of intimacy between strangers resulted in their becoming parents together. Mm. He cared nothing for Mitchie. Yeah, she was pretty. Yeah, she was sexy. And she'd been great in bed. But overall, she had just been a way of getting back at Norrell for putting her work first. See? The whole thing had been pretty childish on him. But if all went well, that one case of poor judgment might provide the missing ingredients in his marriage. Okay, that's the end of chapter 39. Ooh, Mitchie is pregnant by Vic, Norrell's husband. And Mitchie know that his wife is Norrell? OMG. Now, is she going to keep this to herself? Is she going to try to blackmail him? Or is she going to go with the program that he offered? Knowing Mitchie, she going to cause some problems. So I'm going to say she going to blackmail him. And although his plan might sound genius, it's still messed up. It is still messed up. You cheated on your wife that one time, got the person pregnant, offered to take her baby and raise it, and your wife gonna raise that baby. All I gotta do is shake my head. All I got is to shake my head. Well, you know what? I'm gonna see you in the next chapter. Bye.